Hey, what's up guys? In today's blog post I talked about the 5x5 training program that my uncle put me on when I was 14 years old and I first started training, and specifically the modifications that he had to make in order to correct some of the muscular imbalances I was dealing with. So I thought about today's video and how I wanted to approach it, and I want to talk to you guys about imbalance, specifically muscular imbalance, and as it relates to the training programs that we choose to engage in. Now, before I get started, I know this is my Elliott Hulse channel, and I have a strength camp channel that's all about strength training and fitness and whatnot. But if you're watching this channel and you're on the journey of becoming a stronger version of yourself, understand that the body cannot be separate from this. There are so many gurus out there that teach you meditation or how to eat a particular type of special diet, right? And they all clan about these particular ideas, leaving out certain things. My approach is a holistic one. If you've been watching me long enough, you've heard me talk about the 4 layers of strength. There are 4 facets to becoming a stronger version of yourself, and the very first one is physical health. Not just your digestive health, not just your hormone health, not just, physiological health in general. When I say that, that's the second layer of strength. I'm talking about your actual muscular system, your body. Your shoulders, your arms, your jaw, your legs, your feet, your core, and how they all contribute to you being a stronger version of yourself in all areas of your life. So those of you who are longtime Elliott Hulse fans, you probably know this, and I just kind of reiterate this for anybody who's new to our world. Now, today I wanted to talk about modifying your program, whatever training program you're on. Whether you're following my advanced 5x5 program, lean hybrid muscle, a powerlifting program, a bodybuilding program, a yoga program, which I'm back to doing once again, spending most of my days doing yoga, there need to be modifications to support you where you are right now. The thing is that most of the programs we follow are going to be cookie cutter. That's just the way it is. If you're working with a coach, on the other hand, or if you're working with a personal trainer, or you're working with a consultant, they can modify things such that it meets you right where you're at. But if you're buying programs online, or if you've done like I do and you buy DVDs and you follow the workouts and things of that nature, you're going to have to know your body well enough to adjust the parameters and either add or subtract things from that program to support you where you are. You've got to understand this. Following a prescription for exercise is a prescription for exercise that's generalized, cookie cutter, is great. It's going to get you started, but it's not going to get you to where you need to be. So, in today's blog post, I spoke about the modifications my uncle made to my strength training 5x5 program back when I was in high school in order to correct the imbalance between my prime movers and my stabilizers, particularly my abdominals. My abdominals have had a tendency to go weak in comparison to my prime movers. This is for a number of reasons. Number one, my prime movers are strong as fuck. Meaning I've got strong legs. I kind of was born that way. I look at pictures of myself as a child and I just had big legs. Big strong legs, big strong shoulders. I can move a lot. My back is very thick. But if I don't pay conscious attention to the engagement of my deep abdominal wall, meaning the stabilizer muscles in my abdominals, the pelvic floor, transversus abdominis, and even the action of my diaphragm, my abdominals will tend to go limp and weak. And like I said, there are a number of reasons for that. Of course, there are 4 layers of strength, so it's not as simple as my muscles are just weak. It's also inflammation. I personally have a tendency to not digest certain starchy foods very well. It's just my condition. I won't get into it now, but for a very long time. I've had a hard time digesting these types of foods, and it causes inflammation. Now, if there's inflammation in your gut, and I gotta tell you, most people have some form of inflammation in their gut because we eat a fairly toxic diet. If you're taking protein shakes and pre-workouts and all types of food meal replacements, if you're eating junk food, someone on Facebook the other day asked me why I don't eat a Big Mac a day in order to gain muscle. What our friend doesn't understand is that it's not just calories you're ingesting. You're ingesting all the toxic sludge that comes with a fucking Big Mac, right? So your body has to deal with that, and oftentimes it leads to inflammation. So that's one of the reasons why I've had to pay close attention to physiological strength. We should all, as well as the neuromuscular condition of the abdominals, the abdominal wall. So what I'll share with you are just a few more ideas that would support you in developing the core musculature in conjunction with the squat, deadlift, bench press, prime mover exercises that you do. And of course, I've already begun down the path of 4 layers, meaning physiology has to be considered when you're trying to strengthen key muscles, particularly stabilizers. Your entire stabilizer system can be shut down. I mean, stabilizers in your neck, jaw, shoulders can be shut down by the foods or the toxins that in your environment that you're exposed to. Right? So understand that what your muscular system presents, either be it by posture or performance, is very much linked to your physiology, the health of your organs. In fact, the only reason why we have arms and legs and muscles of this sort is to protect and move the organs. Right? We crawled up out of the sea so we can eat. Well, I don't know, but that's what they say. But anyway, the point is that when an embryo is developing, the nervous system and the organs develop first, and then the arms and legs extend out of it. Right? Our core is our root. It's where we come from, and it's where our focus and vital resources comes from and should be recharging. I won't get into the energetic implications. I tippy-toed in that direction the other day without giving a solid lesson on energetic strength and the chakra system. By the way, I've got videos where I've spoken about it at length on my Strength Camp channel. I'd like to prepare a new series like that for you guys here on the Elliott Hulse channel. That way, when I say crazy things like your body is your mind and the way you think affects your organs and your muscular system, it doesn't sound as woo-woo or as hippie-like, as it may seem. It's actually very scientific. And then as far as neuromuscular is concerned, right? Because that's the most obvious thing. Dealing with the muscular system is very obvious. It's right there. You see it. You can touch it, right? You can't touch your organs to any great degree. It's like touching your soul trying to deal with your mind. The muscular system can be conditioned. Your core can be conditioned by, number one, making sure that the tonic, tight, overused muscles in your abdominal cavity, and what I'm speaking about specifically are like your psoas muscles. I spoke about this last week. It's a giant muscle that extends from your lumbar spine down into your legs. So if you think about your rib cage and your hips here, you've got a big strap muscle that innervates and is highly associated with that area. Not only that, but it's one of those muscles that tend to grow tonic. And if your psoas is tight, if it's tonic, if it's rigid and riddled with trigger points, which most people's are, I don't want to say most people's, but I've experienced it, and in many of my clients I've noticed it, then you've got to do something to condition the psoas. I spoke about this in various videos last week. I've spoken about this in many videos on my Elliott Hulse, on my Strength Camp channel. But today I'll just briefly say, massaging it with a small basketball or foam rolling your belly has brought me great relief. It may help you too. Be cautious. But then mobilizing and then stretching the psoas, the hip flexor muscles, and also you might need to stretch your low back, lumbar, erector muscles. Also, I have a tendency to have really big, bulky obliques, right? These are all muscles that need to be softened and stretched and relaxed. That way, you can engage the stabilizers of your pelvis and your abdominal region in absence of the prime movers, kind of what I talk about in my blog post down below in relationship to squats, deadlifts, and not using the abdominals. You can isolate the abdominal exercises with various tummy vacuum drawing in type exercises. Paul Chek describes some very powerful rehabilitative exercises for your transversus abdominis in his book How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. But I've been through many of his courses and have practiced many of the exercises he's taught me on myself, on my clients, and even working with him as a client, he's told me, dude, you need to do this. So there are some tips, tricks, tactics, help for you on your journey to becoming a stronger version of yourself. Like I said, everyone is required to take great care for their muscular system, their body, as well as their physiology and mind when becoming a stronger version of yourself. Done.